Chargers Now is presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Will Ortner, and we've got some great news from the National Football League on the Los Angeles Chargers that you do not want to miss. We're going to break it all down on today's video because comp picks are going to be something that is important for a lot of teams in the National Football League, and the Chargers are not one of the teams that is not going to have a comp pick in the 2027 draft. Right now, Over the Cap has kind of come in and said, hey, this is what is expected to be on the docket for different teams based on their comp picks, based on who left in NFL free agency. Now, because the draft is over, teams are able to go out and sign a player, and it is not going to affect the comp pick formula. Essentially, now the only thing that can mess with that for a team is how much a player plays or does not play, or potentially if you have a coach leave your team in the offseason to go and be a head coach or go be a coach somewhere else. So that is important to note. Now, the Chargers could go in and sign whoever they want to. They're not going to hurt the comp pick formula for LA, and it's just going to be all fine and dandy. Are you happy with the Chargers 2026 offseason so far? Let me know down below in the comment section. Do you feel like they're doing a good job? Do you feel like they're not doing a good job? Let me know what your opinion is down below. Because I think a lot of people early on were saying, I don't like what General Manager Joe Ortiz is doing. After the draft, I think a lot of us are all on the same page saying, wow, that was a great draft by Ortiz. I'm interested in hearing what your opinion is in our comment section. Now, some important players left in free agency for the Chargers. Now, these three guys that left all ended up factoring into the comp pick formula. Because to get comp picks, a team needs players to leave in free agency on their own volition. That allows a team to be awarded a compensatory pick from the National Football League in the following season's draft, and it's either a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th round pick, and it's at the back end. Chargers lost 3 big-name players. Now, at the same time, they did bring in 2 other players in signings. Charlie Kolar and Cole Strange end up actually canceling out some of the potential comp picks that the Chargers could have gotten. Now, you're going to notice they only brought in 2 guys that are going to impact it. Well, they lost 3. So that means the Chargers are more than likely going to get a comp pick. The question is, how high will that pick be? I'll let you know right after I let you know that today's show is made possible by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 sports picks app and is the best place to win cash while watching sports. With playoff basketball finally here, there's no better time to cash in than with our friends at PrizePicks. And I'll tell you this, the app is really easy to use. To qualify for a PrizePicks lineup, pick 2 to 6 players and select more or less on stat projections, including points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, hits, home runs, strikeouts, and several others across all sports. With the new social feeds feature, you can share PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. That includes me and producer Searle. You follow us on PrizePicks and get the picks before they even get posted on the show. I have a lineup for the football action going on later on this year. Justin Herbert, more on his passing yards. Quentin Johnston, more on his receiving TDs. Rashid Shaheed, more on his receiving yards as well. New user offer. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with PrizePicks. Clickable link to download the app is in the comments and description. So we asked the question, are the Chargers in line to get a comp pick? Well, the answer is simply going to be yes, they are, because more key free agents left the team than they signed from other places. Now that the comp picks are essentially locked in, there is some wiggle room. It is expected that the Chargers are going to get a 3rd-round pick. Now, this is because of Odafe Oweh. Oweh leaving the Chargers and making as much money as he's going to make with the Washington Commanders does end up putting this team in a position to where they are going to get some compensatory relief back from the National Football League. Over on NFL.com, Dan Parr had this to say on why he expects it to be a 3rd-round pick for the Chargers. The Commanders did not spend an early draft pick on an edge rusher, so I'm expecting the highly paid Oweh to play enough snaps to ensure the Bolts are awarded a 3rd-round selection. Now, why do I think that this is great? Well, one, I think that the Chargers made a smart selection when they drafted Akheem Mesidor. When you look at Odafe Oweh's season, it is important to note that he had a lot of success with the Baltimore Ravens in previous years, not so much in 25. With the Chargers, he had a lot of success, really excelled in Jesse Minter's defense. He added in a third pass rushing element behind Thule and Khalil Mack that the Chargers were greatly missing. In fact, he was so impactful in that Patriots game, he was a large reason why the defense were able to keep the Chargers into the game at least through the third quarter or so. When we look at Akheem Mesidor, I think that based on his stats at Miami, he is going to be someone that can be a plug and play type of player. He is instantly going to be grabbed and placed into this defense, and I think you are going to see him be an elite third pass rushing option for this Chargers team. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if by the end of the season, he puts himself into a spot where he's really the second pass rushing option because, look, let's be honest, Khalil Mack is still a very good player, but he is an elder statesman now in the National Football League. So could the Chargers be looking at getting a guy like Mesidor and replacing Oweh with him, but actually also kind of replacing Mack with him, and then Mack's the guy who replaces Oweh? And if that's the case, well, that's just an absolute crushing there by the Chargers. Will Akheem Mesidor have 5+ sacks next season? Let me know down below in the comment section if you think the answer to that is yes or no. I tried to pick an easy number here. This is just coming off the top of my dome for the 5+ sacks there. I think that he's got a real shot at being over 5+. I don't know that he quite gets to over 8+ or gets to that Oweh number of 7.5. But you never know, man. Akheem Mesidor is sick. I got to see him at the Cotton Bowl. He was awesome. Let me know your opinion on where Mesidor will be next season. The 2027 NFL Draft is loaded. Now, I understand that the Chargers are only getting one compensatory pick here, but the fact that you're getting it in the third round is a big freaking deal. We already know from Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, and all the other NFL insiders that teams value the 2027 draft a lot more highly than they did in 26. And when we look at the 27 class, one, there's a lot of really good quarterbacks in it, which is going to make teams more likely to make trades with teams like the Los Angeles Chargers who don't need a quarterback because we already have our guy in Justin Herbert. But it allows these other teams like the Chargers to then go and get players that they wouldn't normally be available to them, right? Normally, in a draft like this year, when there aren't a lot of quarterbacks, well, then a lot of the top-end defensive talent gets grabbed pretty early, or offensive, right? Now those guys aren't going to be grabbed because teams like the Jets, the Cardinals, so on and so forth, are going to be taking quarterbacks, letting some of these guys fall back to Los Angeles. So they'll be able to make those picks, or they could package those picks and trade them away later. The Chargers also, they're still in win now mode. Now, while you're getting that compensatory pick back, that's a good thing, right? They didn't allow the leaving of Oweh to hamstring this organization in the immediacy. Obviously, we knew that they were going to be okay in the long run, right? We knew that Joe Ortiz was going to be able to put this team in a position to where he could build a solid edge rushing crew. Now, when we look at this linebacker depth chart, this is an elite outside edge rushing unit. You've got stars on all levels for this Los Angeles Chargers team. And in my opinion, Mesidor can grow into being a really good player for this team. This is a great edge rushing unit. Is it the best in the National Football League? No. But do I think that Oweh leaving has completely left this chasm, this hole for the Chargers? The answer to that is no as well. General Manager Joe Ortiz had to make a decision, and it was a difficult one. It's not easy to let a guy like Oweh go after what an incredible season he had before. But Ortiz knows that if this Chargers team is going to have the best chance to have success now and in the future, he had to be willing to let Oweh go potentially. And the great news is the NFL is rewarding the Chargers for it by making sure that they get a comp pick. Thank goodness Ortiz knows what the rules are and he knows how to work the system. If you love the Los Angeles Chargers and you love when they get good news, you're going to hit the thumbs up button on today's video. If this is your first time checking us out, hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to 4K subscribers. Help us get there. Hit that sub button. we'll make sure that you're covered on any Chargers news and rumors throughout the year of 2026. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. Bolt up.